So much for joining us. My name is Patricia Lukoma, and this is News Tonight. But before we delve into the news, let's have the top stories first. In our top stories, President Museveni holds talk with his Russian counterpart. Italian farm donates 1,000 doses of freezing bull seeds to Ugandan farmers. UBC's Director of Finance and Administration praises the station's performance. Broadcasters Association agrees to engage in dialogue with government. Once again, it is our pleasure to bring you what's making headlines. Starting off with the Presidential Press Unit, President Museveni has advised countries, organizations and people that are in the culture of fomenting, sponsoring and promoting unjustified, opportunistic wars, terrorism and criminality, both in Africa, on the African continent and in the entire world, to stop it. He explained that they are wasting their time, as history has proved that humanity has overcome all forms of injustices that have come their ways over the years.
Addressing the first session of the second Russian-Africa Summit this morning in the Russian city of St. Petersburg, President Museveni said that fighting an unjust war is a waste of time, and even if the perpetrator comes out victorious, the gains of such a war are likely to be very temporary.
Those who foment wars on account of ideological issues are wrong, and they are time and opportunity wasters. Human history will move on whether they like it or not. The only justified wars are the just wars, like the anti-colonial wars. Wars of hegemony will fail and waste time and opportunity.
He castigated forces in Africa and foreign ones that are in a culture of overthrowing legitimate and democratically elected governments in Africa, the recent one having taken place in Niger, an act he said was shameful in the modern era. President Museveni further used the occasion to call upon Russia and other developed allies of Africa to help the continent do away with exportation of raw materials by supporting the continent's industrialization agenda.
Those are products like processed coffee instead of bean coffee, chocolate instead of cocoa beans, textiles instead of just cotton, steel instead of iron ore. Iron ore, we call it, our languages are richer than English, we call it obtare. Obtare, that's iron ore, different from the metal. Electric batteries instead of just lithium, etc.
In his remarks, the Russian President Vladimir Putin said that Russia has at all times been an ally of Africa from her independence struggle and is on record to have never attempted to plunder any part of Africa, but rather have contributed to the development of the continent. He added that Russia has at all times been monitoring with interest the plight of Africa in areas of security, economic exploitation and humanitarian issues, and said that the country has always and will continue working with Africa in these areas in line with the United Nations Charter. President Vladimir Putin added that Russia and Africa are united in the fight against terrorism, climate change, and the imposition of unilateral sanctions by self-seeking nations. He commended the African leaders for their input in trying to find a solution in the conflict in Ukraine and said that Russia attaches a lot of importance to the efforts of the African leaders. Dennis Igawa for UBC News.
Now, Allen Farm and Agricultural High Technology Farm engaged in cattle keeping has offered a transfer technology to Uganda to improve on milk production. Allen Farm is located in Sinistra 167 via Migliara 51 between the city of Rome and Naples. Alan Farm uses technology mostly, and each cattle produces 52 liters of milk on a daily basis. During her working visit to Italy, the Prime Minister Robin Nabbanja went to Alan Farm to find ways of partnership to improve on Uganda's local cattle breeds in milk production. Premier Nabbanja was impressed by the work being done and the quality of cattle kept at Alan Farm. Nabbanja says that the technology being used will greatly improve Ugandan farms and increase on profitability. The Prime Minister was flanked by the Executive Director of Uganda Investment Authority, Dr. Robert Mukiza, Uganda's Deputy Head of Mission in Italy, Alimari Kemera, and other technical staff. Now, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, has cited the need for sensitization of public on the various ways to make money, among others through hard work other than child sacrifice. Tayebwa says it's not poverty that promotes the perpetrators into such actions, but rather primitivity. He communicated this while at the Hope International Conference, an event aimed at creating awareness to end child sacrifice and human trafficking in Uganda and worldwide.
On average, 3,000 children were sacrificed and trafficked last year as a result of child stealing, abduction and kidnap, missing children in districts of Kampala, Mukono, Wakiso, Masaka, among others. It's against this background that Champions Child Care Ministries, in partnership with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, with other stakeholders, hold the Hope International Conference annually to devise means on how best child sacrifice and human trafficking can be dealt with in Uganda and world over.
Who survived and has inspired our gathering here today. She survived and has inspired for us to come together to bring hope and discuss on issues that affect children, especially child sacrifice and trafficking. And with the will in this room, in this community, we will bring that to an end.
The Hope International Conference was graced by the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, who commended the various stakeholders in the fight against child sacrifice and human trafficking for the job well done.
The judiciary, you have been very clear on these cases. You have been uncompromising on these cases. And of course, it's because of the evidence placed by police and the DPP. No, it's barbaric. There is no way, to me, there is no way you can say you are doing this because you want to get rich. Why not use the money you're using people who are going to waylay this child? You know, you even put aside money to bribe the system. We need to teach people more that you earn money through hard work, through integrity, through keeping your part of the bargain.
Tayebwa also highlighted the legal framework set up by the Parliament to curb on such vices.
We believe we've put in place a legal regime that would support all efforts. The Prevention of Trafficking in Persons Act 2009, the Prevention and Prohibition of Human Sacrifice Act 2021. Of course, we have the Penal Code Act, and recently the Human Organ Donation and Transport Act 2022, where you know that through a regulated mechanism, someone can give you an organ if you need it.
In her remarks, the keynote speaker, Ms. Georgie Campbell, said there is need for collective efforts among people and government to prevent crimes of child sacrifice and human trafficking, since they affect the well-being of the public.
These crimes are harmful and damaging to the moral sense of our community. and justice must demand that a penal provision or a law is enacted to match the needs of the public to safeguard its morality. Child sacrifice is illegal because it constitutes the unlawful death of another person. Child trafficking is also criminal. It involves the exploitation of children that leads to death or a life at risk.
The Director of Public Prosecutions, Late Justice Jane Francis Abodo, promised adequate action towards the perpetrators of such actions.
Because we don't want them to come and reoffend. So that's why we are looking at the justice system. They're all chain that we are looking at, from police, where these people, actually we start from the community. That's why we partner with NGOs, so that they engage the communities and tell them this is what child trafficking looks like.
In attendance were judges, advocates, investigators, security operatives, among others. The Hope International Conference, held under the theme, Reach Every Victim of Child Sacrifice and Trafficking, Leave No One Behind, will be concluded with a gala under a theme, Healing the Scars, where various stakeholders will be awarded for the exquisite work done in the fight against human sacrifice and child trafficking. Rebecca Nantongo, Susan Nabugude, UBC News.
The recently announced government blackout by private media houses in Uganda has collapsed as the framers of the move accepted to take the path of dialogue other than blackmail and sabotage. This has been announced in a memo dated 28 July 2023.
People who are saying we are not covering are actually in Parliament, covering Parliament.
The decision to give Uganda Broadcasting Corporation UBC and Vision Group government advertisements has stirred public debate.
The respect we give the private broadcasters should be the same respect we give to UBC.
Those opposed to the move have rushed to seek for public sympathy to the extent of dragging Parliament into the matter.
Second petition was from the National Association of Broadcasters regarding the government policy on business to private media houses, where all the work, all the adverts are supposed to only be given to one media house.
Days after the private media owners had indicated a nationwide non-coverage of government-sponsored events, the Broadcasters Association has now opted for dialogue. On Wednesday, 26th July 2023 interview with Dr. Patricia Lukoma, the board member for Vision Group, downplayed the inabilities in the National Association of Broadcasters' accusations that the national broadcaster lacks professionalism.
If you're saying private media is more objective, it's more pluralistic, personally, I think it depends on which side of the coin is. If I'm in opposition, of course that will work for me. But if opposition became government, you'd see the change of ballgame. So it depends on which side you're on. So for me, that is not how to look at it.
For political players like retired Major General Mugisha Muntu, UBC should be supported.
Because UBC has got many professional journalists. I believe there are many Ugandans who can manage an outfit like this. And because of the history and the foundation that it already has, it can become a key actor in the dissemination of information, but also in raising the consciousness of the country.
Muntu notes that an independent-minded government media should thrive beyond everyone's expectation.
In my own estimation as a citizen of this country, UBC being a government parastatal, I think the best thing that could happen for UBC is to leave it the space. First get professionals who can run it, then fund it adequately, and let them to build it, to build the credibility, and also to become profitable so that it can run on its own, So government should not interfere with it.
However, Muntu also asserts that much as UBC needs funding, its internal management is crucial.
The management is the most critical thing. Government should stay out. It doesn't matter which government. Let the professionals run it. If that happens, UBC would survive on its own.
The call of strike by National Association of Broadcasters NAB testifies to the fact that in the first case, there was no need for the ban.
I don't know hardly how many days have passed or hours. They need the content. Just look at the basic principles of news. What makes news? It starts with the what, the who. The who's are in government, the president is in government, the ministers are in government. When you look at the content, when you look at the bilateral arrangements happening, funding infrastructure, the big news, the oil craze in Uganda, it is government. So you need government, you have to work with government.
Robert Onyango, UBC News.
The Managing Director of Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, Winston Agaba, has expressed gratitude to the President for a directive that mandates all government institutions to advertise with the corporation. The message was echoed by the Director of Finance, Peter Kagwa, who addressed criticism from private media houses, highlighting UBC's diverse coverage and its national mandate.
The Managing Director, Winston Agaba, has thanked President Yoweri Museveni for recognizing the corporation's potential. This was contained in a message delivered for him by the Director of Finance and Administration, Peter Kagwa, during the training of PDM Trainers Program at Uganda Broadcasting Corporation.
To thank His Excellency the President of Uganda for the directive that he made towards resourcing the national broadcaster for Uganda. Our problem as UBC is funding, not resource gap capacity. If not so, we have the most well-educated, skilled, knowledgeable, and demonstrable staff.
The training attracted Uganda Broadcasting Corporation staff from its 11 radio stations and 4 television stations. The Director of Finance, UBC, Peter Kagwa, emphasized the importance of using indigenous languages to effectively communicate vital information to the people.
Should stop comparing themselves to us. We are a national broadcaster. We are too big. They compare themselves to us. But even all the stations that are up country are not situated there, are not put there because of commercial purposes.
UBC's mandate is to educate, inform and entertain citizens in 27 languages, making it better placed to deliver understandable information to the grassroots. He emphasized that UBC plays a vital role in educating, informing and entertaining the nation.
Once the PDM was commissioned, our staff, immediately according to our mandate, started educating the masses about the guidelines of PDM.
The PDM Secretariat and UBC have been diligently working to educate and engage the masses about the program's guidelines.
UBC has the biggest network in the country and it interacts with many people, and therefore it is so key that they should be the people we should be dealing with, because they will help us in not only mobilizing but also sensitizing the population about the PDM.
Programs Manager at UBC, Doreen Ndezi, assured that the corporation has archival materials and training initiatives to ensure the success of the PDM in transforming the lives of Ugandans.
We've covered the practicals, we've done digital issues, we've now learned more about PDM, we've learned how to archive, though we did partial because of time and resources, but we know we shall keep these building blocks.
The PDM program aims to transition households from subsistence to enterprise groups, providing training and access to credit through the revolving fund. Despite initial skepticism, the initiative has garnered overwhelming excitement and support from the public. The training of trainers at UBC has concluded, and the nation remains hopeful for the success of the parish development model in uplifting communities across Uganda. So that Kaye, UBC News.
The first daughter, Natasha Karujiri Museveni, has launched her groundbreaking documentary series dubbed Those Among You, delving into the rich history and politics of the country. In contrast to her previous project, the acted movie 27 Guns, this new documentary series adopts an authentic approach. Gone are the stages, since instead viewers are treated to intimate sit-downs with the very heroes whose bravery fought in the brush during Uganda's liberation struggle. The premiering of the documentary series took place at Arena Mall in Kampala.
Uganda faced a lot of challenges.
The colonists were our enemies, not our friends.
In a spectacular display of glitz and glam, the Arena Mall witnessed a momentous gathering of individuals from diverse walks of life, all coming together to celebrate Natasha Museveni's latest venture, a captivating project delving into the history of the nation. Among the viewers were notable figures like the former Chief Justice of Uganda, Benjamin Odoch, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayewa, Attorney General Chiriowa Chwanuka, and the Chief Guest Dr. Arikana Chombori, renowned for her role as the former permanent representative of the African Union to the United States.
So realizing that they cannot destroy the African, only thing they could do is go for the mind.
With an unwavering commitment to preserving history and narrating stories with authenticity, Natasha Museveni, the first daughter, has taken up the mantle of storytelling. Her latest project, aptly named Those Among You, showcases a series of intimate sit-downs aimed at rekindling the memories and reflections on the nation's past.
However, tonight's film is an amalgamation, a summarized version of those 8 parts, meaning numerous interviews aren't included and the story is abridged for the purposes of screening.
For Natasha, storytelling holds immense significance as she ensures future generations grasp the trajectory of the nation, the sacrifices made, and the freedoms bestowed by the efforts of the remarkable individuals. Among those featured in her documentary series is Jim Muhwezi, the Cabinet Minister for National Security, who served as the head of civil intelligence during the Bush War. He underscores the importance of these stories in shaping the nation's history.
So, this documentary is a recording and authentic because these are the people who were there, and I believe that the young generations should take them in and understand the value of this transformation that has happened to our country.
Dr. Arikana Chombori commended the youth for reclaiming the power to tell their own stories, breaking free from the narratives imposed by the colonialists.
A woman who has stood up and said, no more shall the hunters continue to tell this story. A woman who has stood up and said, no more shall the miseducation continue. A young lady who has said, no more shall they continue to misinform us.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayewa, recognizes Natasha's humility and acknowledges her quest to fill in the missing gaps of the nation's history.
It's very important for me to share it with the rest of the people so that we all share the story of our country. That's how you build patriotism. That's how you build patriotism, and really that's how we shall ensure that we have a sustainable Uganda.
The former Chief Justice commended the previous generation for fulfilling their mission, ultimately bequeathing peace and freedoms to the youth of today, who are entrusted with maintaining these precious legacies.
They have to take over the mission we started. Each generation has a historic mission, and they have started now. We can see.
Natasha Museveni first emerged on the scene as a producer in 2018, directing and producing a biopic film that garnered attention. Now she continues to shine a spotlight on Uganda's history, purposefully and authentically narrating these stories with a focus on the main characters and rare unseen footage. For Natasha, as she continues to tell these stories, she promises to explore different forms of media to preserve and pass down these invaluable pieces of history to generations yet to come. With an unwavering passion and dedication, Natasha Museveni is determined to ensure that the nation's history is not only remembered but cherished and learned from by those who will shape its future.
And against any form of oppression.
Sharon Chomdisha, UBC News.
Masindi District Councillors engaged in a physical altercation over disagreements about the adoption of the council order paper. Now the clash erupted when some members sought to include the issue of establishing Bunyoro University's land at Kihonda demonstration firm and a motion to transfer the district chief administrative officer Carl on order paper.
Masindi District Speaker Moses Kiria informed members that the Bunyoro University land establishment issue couldn't be added to the order paper, but the motion to recommend the district chief administrative officer transfer could be discussed and approved. The decision angered a group of councillors led by Kiza Johnson, representing Bukonzo sub-county, who accused the speaker of favoritism and prioritizing his personal interests over matters concerning the general public.
The cow has no any problem. If there is any problem, did you bring that to attention in the committees? Have we ever discussed in the committees about cow's conduct? Why should you always allow the other people to bring their motions and you pass them the way you want, but you don't want other members to bring their motions here? You really shut.
During the confrontation, Councillor Chisarachi John attempted to grab the speaker's microphone, sparking a fight between opposing sides. Prior to the altercation, the district chairman and his executive boycotted the council due to the exclusion of the Bunyoro University land issue on the order paper, which they had resolved as the district business executive committee.
This council was called earlier than usual because we normally have the first council of the financial year in August. It was called earlier by the speaker because of bad motives, and we have realized it on the floor of council. We went in expecting to discuss ideas which affect our people. For instance, earlier on we had resolved on giving our 100 acres of Kihonda land for establishment of Bunyoro University for Greater Masindi.
Some councillors resisted police arrest of their colleagues, Kiza Godfrey and Wahid Juma, who were accused of initiating the fight. Heavy security was later deployed at the council chambers with the OC station Masindi Police, Livingstone Kandiho asserting their role in maintaining law and order during the council session. Councillors criticized the police for entering the council premises with firearms which they deemed unlawful. Additionally, some councillors accused the district speaker of bias in handling the order paper. Brian Tumwinebiaruhanga, Andrew Musinguzi, UBC News.
These days, our homes are no longer just the places we live. It's where we attend meetings, go to class, keep each other safe, and entertain ourselves. To do this smoothly, you need a reliable internet connection. Buy the MTN WakaNet router, which connects up to 32 devices and gets a free 40 GB data bundle at only 149,000 shillings. Or buy the MTN WakaNet MiFi at only 75,000 shillings and enjoy a free 15 GB bundle to stream, study, work, and play on the go. Visit any MTN service center to buy the MTN WakaNet router or MiFi and enjoy the internet that does amazing things.
biggest, the baddest East African Christian Marathon is here. Come participate at the East African Christian Marathon for a prayer run on the 13th of August 2023 at the Lugogo Hockey Grounds. Come represent your family at the prayer run and run for a good cause to build the first call center, which will be East Africa's virtual listener. Come for the prayer run alongside your pastors, leaders, representatives from Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, Congo, South Sudan, and of course Uganda. Participate with Honorable Captain Mike Mukula, who is the chief runner and patron. Do not miss out on this opportunity. Make your donation for your kid now from 20,000, 30,000 and 100,000 Uganda shillings, because runs change the world. For more details, call 0781 885 055 or visit our website at www.eastafricachristianmarathon.org. Proudly sponsored by PKF, UBC, Venro Health, Aquafina, and Moving Preacher.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too! Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*0#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Uganda's oil and gas projects are providing opportunities for international certification and employment in various disciplines. 12,000 Ugandans have received global oil industry training and international certification in welding, heavy goods vehicle driving, and scaffolding, among others. 6 public and private institutions have received international accreditation and certification from industry bodies such as City and Guilds, ECITB, OPITO, AWS, and NEBOSH. 250 government officers from various ministries and agencies have trained in oil and gas-related disciplines such as petroleum engineering, geosciences, law, and economics. 71,300 Ugandans are currently employed in the sector. The National Oil and Gas Talent Register provides visibility to Ugandans with skills and competencies for possible employment in the oil and gas sector. Registration is free. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Welcome back from that short break, and of course it's time for us to delve into the world of business. And first, let us look at the Parish Development Model Circle chairperson in Kibuku District, who has been implicated for allegedly asking bribes from the beneficiaries to qualify for the PDM loans. Luatama Sub-County Chairperson Hazalia Kato says some of the beneficiaries have been forced to pay a fee between 100,000 to 150,000. Well, we will be bringing that story in our subsequent bulletin. Now over to MTN Uganda. It has launched the first 5G network in Uganda, with Bugolobi and Lugogo being the first areas to experience the 5G network. The company plans to roll out 5G network in all major cities countrywide in 2 years' time.
MTN Uganda has launched the first 5G network in Uganda to increase internet penetration and fast connectivity in the country. The 5G network is 100 times faster than the 4G, which majority of Ugandans are currently using.
Compared to the predecessor, which is 4G, brings on board a digital transformation. We are going to experience speeds 100 times faster than what we've been experiencing on 5G. Ultra low latencies, and also the benefits that 5G bring to the consumers are immense. So today we are here for that historic moment to unveil our 5G technology as the first network in Uganda to launch.
The company plans to roll out full 5G coverage in the capital Kampala by the end of 2024, and that over the next 2 years all its base sites in major cities will also be converted to 5G.
To launch our 5G sites that are live in Lugogo and Bugolobi areas, and we'll be expanding that rollout to the rest of the country in the next 2 years. So we are here today to unveil those 2 sites to you.
So even with payments, it's important that people get the right experience. So we are redressing this whole proposition around payments to make sure that people can pay in a more transparent manner, it's seamless, and they actually get better value.
This is set to increase productivity of digital economy and improve both health and education sectors.
Because the digital world is where work is happening today. Everything is digital. So you need a connection that is reliable, you need a connection that is fast, you need a connection that works. And with the launch of 5G, that's what MTN is promising.
Sada Mubale, UBC News.
The Uganda Institute of Professional Engineers has initiated a membership management information system to best track practices of engineers while registering new members. The online portal intends to minimize impersonation and related substandard construction impacts.
The Uganda Institute of Professional Engineers has embraced an electronic membership management information system aimed at eliminating inefficiencies and streamlining the tiresome processing and management of members' information.
From the comfort of a power dam, you can submit your application process. For us, what we see as the professional body is that once we are able to get all these actors, our members, onto the register, the code of practice is very strict. That if you are registered and you misbehave by way of professional negligence, there are very, very punitive measures against such, including the registration. If you are deregistered, it's like being debarred from holding a public office. It means that you can no longer offer your services for commercial gain to the members of the public.
By implementing this electronic storage system, the Institute will be able to swiftly track and identify impersonators and unqualified engineers, thereby reducing the risk to people's lives.
So if there is a problem and the person runs away, reach out to the institution and ask, is this your member? Because I have a problem, I paid the money or I paid her money, either he has abandoned the site or she has abandoned the site. Can you help trace? We have the details of what our members here. If it is a legitimate requirement like that, we can help trace that person.
Another key objective of this portal is to facilitate the development and outsourcing of qualified personnel to construction projects through timely engagement and feedback.
If you come to a point of selecting the engineer to work on your site, all registered engineers can also be accessed through that system. But that is when you are already applying for the permit. Now, having done due diligence, then you can now contract the person. Because you even have a copy of your certificate. So if there is a problem, you are the project developer. Remember, you put in your money. And you put money and entrusted your project to a professional person. So you have confidence in that person.
With this system in place, qualified engineers can conveniently register with the institute in their preferred areas, while practicing members can easily update their details. Abdul Nasele Lubwama for UBC.
Myoga circles in Greater Bushenyi and Kole sub-region have demonstrated remarkable productivity, leaving a visiting team of Myoga circle leaders from Busoga region astonished. Led by the resident district commissioner Namaingo Robin Amgerwa, the team witnessed the positive economic transformation and employment opportunities these circles have brought about through value addition processes.
Myoga Sako leaders from Busoga representing the districts of Jinja, Iganga, Kamuli, Kaliro, Luka, Buyanda, Bujiri, Bugweri, Mayuge, Namtumba and Namaingo has been inspired by the successful practices observed in Greater Bushenyi and Kole region. They plan to implement similar initiatives back home to enable the Busoga benefit from Myoga seed funds and experience the same positive impact.
We are going to change everything. Because we have now got the strategies of how to lead a good group, we are going to change all our ways of behavior. However much behavior change is a gradual process, but we are in turn to do something good. And even those managers or other chairpersons in governance who are not doing well, we are going to organize them.
I learned from very many circles, and one of them is saving culture, is to allow somebody to save according to the income. And the saving mobilization, these people, when we reached here, we have learned that saving mobilization, these people go down to the ground and meet these people wherever they are.
I want to tell these people in Busoga that you be the culture of savings.
The team leader, the resident district commissioner of Namaingo, Robin Amugera, commends the Microfinance Support Center for effectively implementing the program, stating that it is the best approach to alleviate poverty among the Busoga communities.
When we reached this end, Myoga is a success. They have created the jobs for the youth. They have really made life easy for the beneficiaries. The testimonies we have seen from the beneficiaries is really a testimony that His Excellency the President was really visionary enough to say that at least he creates a Myoga. The people of Western are so thankful.
One shining example is the Bushenyi and Kole Hani Myoga Sako, which empowers women to increase their household incomes by practicing with the Myoga seed capital.
So when we got this Myoga money, immediately we visited the UNBS offices and they helped us to satisfy our products. Now they can be sold all around East African countries. Even women who are not in business, they use that Myoga money to start business and they are doing very well.
Ruhinda Southworld is a Myoga Sako located in Kazinda Trading Center, Rukungu Parish, Ishaka Bushenyi, invested its Myoga funds in purchasing a compressor machine. This investment has added value to fabrication materials, thereby increasing incomes for the youth involved. The Deputy Resident District Commissioner Rampara District, Newton Mulanguzi, confirms that Myoga is a successful initiative that empowers communities and contributes to socio-economic development.
Generally, Myoga has made a touch in Rwampara towards socio-economic transformation Many households now at least have an income because of Myoga. I think there must be routine monitoring of these circles and sensitization, then trainings by the microfinance center.
The impact of Emyuga circles goes beyond two examples. Other Emyuga women circles in the region have ventures in various businesses, including piggery, farming, and restaurant business, thanks to the support provided by the Microfinance Support Center. Waita Robert compiled this report.
Uganda waraji batusako manrane chikona tena tekobo seko season yakuna savu July kuma Mount Papa's Hall usasule kwa MTN mobile money usasula gumu chitundu MTN usasule nega nkomitano iga sitemu kagatano stamu enda munana hasha kwa MTN ufune tiketi yokati wabula kumulyango usasule mitwale ebiri yepe mitwale tano ate meza ya milioni 2 munana July Golden Hotel mkono wenda July Nikan Resort Weza 15 July France Africa Jinja Habili mbili July Maria Flema Saka Habili mwenda July Afro Club Eka Sangati ate yoyo noku yingi na mutualo wafujini Dramo Center Talent Africa Victoria University Suzu Property Consultants Pepsi Max Uganda Waraji Ne
MTN.
Let's cross over onto the international scene. The Ahmadiyya Muslim Community International's 57th Jalsa Salana Annual Convention has started in Old Town, Hampshire, in the United Kingdom. This year's Ahmadiyya Muslim Convention is expected to attract thousands and will be graced by the leader of the Ahmadiyya community, His Holiness Mirza Masroor Ahmad.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
More than 50,000 people from all walks of life and religions have converged in Old Town, Hampshire in the United Kingdom, where the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community Jalsa Salana Annual Convention is underway.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
It started with the Friday sermon led by the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community Worldwide Head, His Holiness Mirza Masroor Ahmad.
So, watch what good deeds you have done in your life. So it is important that after saving yourself from the sins, then you join and get a connection with Allah, and you don't sit and fold hands that I'm a God-fearing person, I've got a connection with Allah. Rather, you advance and do good. And you don't just do good and sit folding your hands. Rather, you go furthermore, be a good person, and then you also do good to your fellow human beings after cleansing yourself.
His Holiness also presided over one of the key events at the convention, which is raising of the flags. This convention is the largest Muslim gathering in the United Kingdom and attracts the presence of thousands from all over the world, including Uganda.
The Jalsa Salana UK has a special significance in the Ahmadiyya world because Khalifa Masih, head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association of the whole world, actually resides here. He attends this function, and he himself delivers inspiring addresses, inspiring lectures.
The annual convention's intentions are many but dwell on peace, spiritual and moral development, highlighting benefits of social interaction, and importantly, emphasizing personal relationship with God.
We can interact with each other spiritually and also to have other mutual benefits. And generally speaking, the message that comes out from this place, which we build on, year on,
is to remind us of the purpose of our creation. Why is man created? Why are we here? We must have a reason. We must have a purpose.
The three-day convention will have several sessions of inspirational speakers on subjects like children in schools, women, and the scientific evidence of God's presence. All in all, the convention will highlight Islam as a religion of peace, with a recitation of the Quran and the 5 daily prayers also on the menu. This 57th Jalsa Salana Annual Convention of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community has proved that Islam is a compassionate religion that requires all its followers to care for mankind, irrespective of social, economic, or political stand. John Burns Centamo, Hampshire, United Kingdom.
And into sports, the Confederation of African Football team from PricewaterhouseCoopers has kicked off the inspection of Uganda sports facilities as submitted with the East African Pamoja AFCON B 2027.
It's a tool for uniting.
A team of 3 from PricewaterhouseCoopers was assigned by CAF to conduct a facilities inspection exercise in the 3 countries, Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya. The team kicked off their Uganda inspection with Nambole Stadium, where they also had a meeting with the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa.
The football united us, brought us together under one roof. Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya. Everywhere you've put this tournament, Ugandans have been going in big numbers. We believe it's high time also people came in big numbers to our country, to Kenya, to Tanzania, to our region. I want to give you a guarantee here that any money needed, our #1 priority for the next 4 years is a successful hosting of AFCON, budget-wise. Parliament is fully on board to ensure that where there is a gap presented by FUFA, Parliament will ensure we shall remove money, whether from our salaries, whether from where, but we ensure we facilitate the whole of this process. And I can also guarantee you that in the next few, I would say months, because we are going to be engaging with the President and all that, all Africans will be accessing Uganda visa-free. We shall also put in place an arrangement whereby non-Africans will be coming to the country for that purpose, because it's not only for Africa. We shall put a very smooth, process of ensuring that they don't get any visa hindrances.
Before arriving in Uganda, the team had been in Kenya, where they spent 2 days on the same assignment. Their visit to Uganda gives a great boost to the Ugandan preparations, above all to the Pamoja AFCON bid 2027.
There are 3 nations coming together. We take an advantage over the single countries that are bidding individually. But for Ugandans, I want to make an appeal to you to give your prayers, to give us support, to support the project. Because once AFCON comes here, everybody is going to be a beneficiary.
As you can see behind me here at the Nachivubo Stadium, works are still ongoing. So whether this stadium will be ready by 2027, that's what we wait to see. However, the CAF team, together with the partner countries, Kenya and Tanzania, continue their tour to Wankulukuku Stadium, St. Mary's Chitende, Garuga Training Center, and Kisu to see the progress of the works on these facilities. Grace Joyce Kemigisa, UBC News.
Uganda's chances to make it to the 2024 ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup have been damped by a loss to Kenya. The Under-19 Cricket Cranes lost to Kenya by 23 runs this afternoon in their 4th game of the World Cup qualifiers currently happening in Tanzania.
Uganda have got, it's very close.
The team won the toss and elected to field first, giving away 79 runs in 41 overs. In the chase, the boys showed tenacity but could not go past a strong Kenya that limited them to 55 runs all out in 33 overs. Hence, Uganda lost by 23 runs. Uganda remains at number 2 with a 0.3850 net run rate behind Namibia, who has a 1.962 net run rate, with the loss dimming its chances to make it to the ICC Under-19 World Cup 2024 in Sri Lanka. If the math doesn't align, Uganda will automatically be out of the race for the one slot to the World Cup. Uganda will face Sierra Leone tomorrow, the 29th of July 2023, in their final game of the qualifiers. Grace Joyce Kemigisa, UBC News.
And as we sign out, let's have the recap on our headlines. With his Russian counterpart, the Italian firm donates 1,000 doses of Frisian bull seeds to Ugandan farmers. UPDF-UBC's Director of Finance Administration praises his station. And lastly, Broadcasters Association agreed to engage in dialogue with government. That's it from us. Thank you once again for being a part of us. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango, and from the entire team, we say good night, but UBC programming continues.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.